Hey, Rennie Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where we have been listening to Bjork's entire discography in order from her debut record, Debut, onwards. Now, of course, we just kicked off the series. However, we have listened to both her debut record and Vespertine, which we checked out last year during Art Pop April. But continuing, going back from debut onward, we're going to go into her second record here, her follow-up to debut, her 1995 record, Post. Now, from what I gather, Post is her kind of advancing quite a bit in terms of her own kind of distinct musical direction, kind of dropping, a little bit more of the contemporary appeal of the time in exchange for a much more unique and kind of embraced sound of her own kind of unique flair. And when I pull up the Genius page here, it states that unlike her first full-length debut from 1993, which was almost entirely produced by Mo wax artist Nelly Hooper, Bjork's second full-length Post is characterized by more collaborative efforts, including production by Hooper, 808 States, Graham Macy, and trip-hop pioneer Tricky. Moreover, Bjork co-produced every song on the LP. So with that in mind, I'm expecting this to go into a more kind of unique and bold creative direction that Debut had, which, to be quite honest with you, I still really liked Debut. I thought it was a great record, but I could definitely see it being seen as a bit more of a contemporary release of the times. So, without further ado, let's get into the record. It's 46 minutes and 4 seconds long, 11 tracks. Let's get into it. First track here, Army of Me, 79 million streams, the most popular track to kick it off. Let's go. Okay, wow. Right off the bat, quite heavy. Those drums especially. Hard hitting. Oh, man, I love how this is a massive just breakout track here. I love the clashing, the loud kind of splashing effect there, and her effect on her vocals, like kind of reverby. She's sounding like a bad bitch, as they say. She's bold. She is in your face on this one, full of confidence. Never heard her sound so powerful. I love this main synth lead. Very thick synth lead on this thing. Very vibrating. Nice simmery drums. That slight hi-hat, it sounds like. These drops too. I love how such an electrifying track, very much in your face, very explosive. Kind of just like a dominating sound. Incredible track. Love the full confidence in it. Here's Hyperballad? Hyperballad? Hyperballad. I'll get it right eventually. I'm already liking this more kind of like almost techno-industrial element to it. I'm sure there's a specific word for it, but Oh, love this bouncy synth lead. It's not lead, but I love this continual, kind of gentle, cascading beat. This is a gorgeous track here. However, the lyrics, are they echoing a sense of suicide, perhaps? I'm not too sure. Yeah, suicidal ideation, exactly what I was thinking here. It seems like she's throwing things off the cliff, picturing it being herself. Perhaps, you know, showing off a much more kind of morbid underlying theme. Despite this very upbeat instrumental. Love the just like progressive bounciness of it. Oh, what is that? Everything has such a pounding sort of oomph to it. I love these vocals. Trading back and forth. A nice mantra to close it out. Oh, the production on this LP so far, so rich and very dynamic. And very heavy. These strings too to close it out. A huge contrast to the very electronic sound that dominates the rest of the track. Wow, that was beautiful. Before we start this next one, transitions on this record so far, by the way, also quite strong. They ease from one to the next. But Hyperballad, beautiful. It seems like it is a very dark, depressing, morbid track within the lyrics, one of suicidal ideation. However, at the same time, has a very forward-thinking, highly produced, beautiful, just kind of luscious, bouncy instrumental that is very upbeat. Nice contrast. Love the energy on this record. Here's The Modern Things, which, like I said, transitioned. There's a certain heaviness to this record, but everything feels quite vibrating. Oh, love her inflections in her voice. Every now and then she does like a deeper sort of throaty growl. You know, she kind of smoothly kind of interlaps those kind of vocals. They kind of ease in and out. She's a great control. Bit of an ambient kind of element to this one. This one's bizarre, but a very distinct atmosphere. Love how kind of like delicate all the elements of this track are. Oh, everything slowly being added. building from one next. I love her kind of soaring backup vocals. So ethereal, so beautiful. Very angelic, her performance. Very, I want to say slightly improvisational. Feels like it is. Ooh. Looping it. Will this ease into the next track? I wonder. No. Okay. Incredible track. Love that one. Again, very futuristic. Also very ambient in focus, I would say that one was. A nice gradual sort of additional sort of element. One on top of the next. Building a larger whole. But individually felt very ambient, very just atmospheric. Speaking on maybe the modern things. I would gather. Not too sure specifically track-wise what that one was about. Maybe about the concept of time. Everything kind of exists all at once. As time moves forward, things just kind of reveal themselves. But I'm not too sure. Here's It's Oh So Quiet, which starts with a bit more of a kind of golden age jazz era. Oh. I'm digging this. I'm getting maybe Billie Holiday vibes in terms of atmosphere and oh, most definitely. This is channeling that 50s sort of classic jazz, vocal jazz era that I personally love so much. What she teased. Just sweet love track, but also she teased this kind of element on her last, or her debut LP, I should say. And I am all for it. As a huge sucker of this style. Oh. Right into it, kind of like a big band kind of style. And swinging. And right back into the delicate nature. We are bouncing back and forth. Oh. It is quiet. It's so commanding, this one of tension. Very floaty.
And so peaceful until you ring that bell, bell.
Gorgeous.
Shout and you yell, how you broke the spell.
This is so wonderfully produced, completely capturing that era. We are transported. Oh my god. I want a whole album of this. It's Love Struck. We are floating. Incredible. My favorite track so far. Hands down. Fall in love. I fell in love with that track, Bjork. Incredible. Perfect. No notes. Perfect. Let's keep it going. Let's go into enjoy. Oh my god. I will say Post is already shaping up to be a more interesting, bolder, grander take on Debut. Oh my god, and then just like the heavy, like pounding futuristic tones of this LP. Oh, hold on. The last track, by the way, It's So Quiet, the one I loved so very much, is a cover of Betty Hutton's 1951 track, which I'm unfamiliar with, which is also a cover of a German track. So, kind of like a cover of a cover, but that being said, not too familiar myself with, you know, that track. But let's keep it going. Sorry about that. Enjoy is the track. Keep going. Love that, like that. Dun 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 dun. Heavy. Love the shakiness of this one. Quite a sensual track lyrically. It's like a marching band, this percussion here. It's so rapid. That sounds like a marching band, no? Such an interesting way it's played. Oh. Like a searing horn or something there. Focusing on that marching aspect. Incredible. That one, huge sort of enveloping sound to that one. I feel like it started off a little gradual. By the end, it was such a cacophony of sounds. Here's You've Been Flirting Again, which such a quiet turnaround. Will this be a more delicate track? She likes to do that, contrasting the heaviness with a much more beautiful, delicate nature. This one's nice, it's sweet and short. Only 2.5 minutes, and it's just a beautiful string and vocal. I'm loving these strings. So luscious and just very full. Kind of said it earlier, and I've touched upon it with Debut, but man, Bjork is an artist that sound-wise, sonically, production-wise, kind of spans decades. Like, you're hearing everything all the way from 1940s, I want to say, onwards in terms of the influences that are coming in. Just a very full, kind of imaginative sort of set of influences in her albums, which makes everything feel so incredibly just like dynamic. Here's Isobel. That last one. Great strings, which I'm a sucker for. This one also kind of opening up similar, like a symphony. Very theatrical. What the heck? This percussion is quite gnarly, quite tribal in a sense. Never mind what I said about 1940s. We're going further. I feel like we are ancient times. Ain't that the truth? A very primal kind of emotion matched by the atmosphere here. Wow. This is a sweeping track going right into strings once again, like a symphony. Really fusing. What a rising tone and atmosphere here. Oh. Very heavy atmosphere on this one. I feel like we are in like a symphonic jungle. I do think this track's a bit of a grower because it's not hitting me as hard initially as some of the other tracks, but it seems like there is a quite wide appeal to this one given the amount of streams on it. But it definitely feels like one of the more challenging listens here, just because the contrast in the sounds we're getting. I feel like we're in the midst of a jungle throughout this track, atmospherically speaking. Very primal energy throughout it. But probably, so far, my least favorite. Here's Possibly Maybe. Is she going to use that phone ringing as part of the instrumental, I wonder? It would seem so. Continuing, themes and concepts of just like an innocent, sweet love, it seems. As she tends to. Ooh. I love that phone ringing too. I love the way it's used. And just a gentle. Getting quite lo-fi here. Ooh. And that vinyl static. Oh, this one's so sweet. And we are quite lo-fi, quite mellowed out. Quite possible. Taking that risk, taking that chance on a loved one. I think that's what life's all about, when you jump into a relationship. It's all a gamble. Boom, boom. Ready? I love that. That like bass line, the boom, boom. Very laid back, very mellowed out mix. Oh, Heartbreak. That gamble gone wrong. Maybe a lack of confidence.
remembrance of you.
A real chronicling of a tale of love. Incredible track. Love that one. That one was lo-fi, a great sense of samples, that ringtone, even the that turntable sort of static sound. I believe it was also just a sample within itself, unless she took a sample that already used it. But I mean, either way, it works with the lo-fi, mellowed out kind of element of the track. And it seems like we ventured into love that track and took the gamble, took the chance of love, and in the end, heartbreak. You know, we've all been there. It's very much a relatable track, but that's what life's all about, taking the continuous gamble of love. Here's I Miss You. Man. Okay. A bit more of a, maybe a house track.
I miss you, but I haven't met you.
Is that an accordion? Am I crazy? Is that an accordion?
So special.
Very unique choice there.
If you believe in dreams,
Okay.
it's more important that a dream can.
Love this looped sample of this. There's that loop.
I will meet you. I was peeking, but it hasn't happened.
Quite a groovy, bouncy track. That throaty growl. Oh. A horn section? Oh my god, it's playful. Oh my god, take it away. Who is on our horns? Watch out, Miles Davis. Stuart Brooks. Shout out Stuart Brooks on the trumpet. Also Bjork on the organ throughout this one.
But you are
So Gary Barnacle? Crazy last name. Oh my god, Stuart Brooks and Gary here. Mr. Barnacle. Taking it away. Okay, Bjork. She is belting it out, screaming. I Miss You, incredible track. One again of a sweet sense of love in its lyricism. Like always with Bjork, she approaches love in a very delicate, gorgeous, wholesome way. The way I like it. Here's Cover Me. Bjork, you know, you've already knocked it out of the park with this LP, but we got 2 more tracks to go. But I Miss You was a massive track to me, a great track. I've had no complaints really about this LP. I'll say that as of right now.
into the unknown.
Love when she does these whispering,
Cover me.
intimate vocals.
I'm going hunting.
This one,
I'm going to pull the
bit of an Eastern and maybe even European sort of sound to this. Ambient as well,
This is really
with the nature-esque elements.
cover me.
Nice, quick, delicate track before we enter the final track here. Headphones, the last one, very Eastern in tone and ambient and just gentle.
Genius to fall asleep. My headphones, they
Is this about
saved my life.
maybe the beauty, the power of music, the impact?
It lulled me to sleep, to sleep, to sleep.
This one's with Trip Hop Pioneer Tricky, by the way. Shout out Tricky. Love how stripped back this one is.
Engine teller eins og þú. Enginn neitar allt sem hann kemur leið.
I'm loving the very meticulous and delicate arrangements of this one. The overlapping vocals, the soft hum.
They saved my life.
A nice love letter to sound and the beauty of it all through the power of music.
It lulled me to sleep, sleep, sleep.
Which really does close out this record beautifully, which I'll get to at the end here. Just a soft ambient focus. Love it. Big sucker for ambience myself, so this is just gorgeous. That does it for headphones and for post. 1995. Wow. I got a lot to say about this one, I feel like. But this LP as a whole is fantastic. I got to say, post, beginning to end, this whole thing is a beautiful journey in a plethora of influences and sounds. Like, we go all the way back, it feels like, to a very primal kind of tribal time while advancing very futuristic and forward in the genre of techno and house and ambience. And through that, we obviously journey with everything in between, specifically, like she kind of did on debut, the sort of 50s, 60s big band or musical kind of esque tones, especially with the track It's Oh So Quiet, which I thought was the standout track for me personally. I just love the vibe and the energy brought to the table. But this entire LP does cover a huge kind of array of sounds and has a wide palette, really taking a lot of what she did on debut, but pushing it into a direction that feels just far more advanced, futuristic, and less contemporary of the time, and certainly aging, I would say, a lot better than the tracks on debut. So Post, all in all, is a powerful record. I really don't have anything too negative to say. I think Isobel is probably my least favorite, but I'm sure that is just a bit of a grower. I just thought the sort of back and forth that it went for didn't quite connect to me personally. But other than that, this thing was just a gorgeous kind of jump into ambient kind of Eastern tones, as well as covering the classic 50s, 60s jazz era, and also a very techno and futuristic sort of ambient nature in that regard as well. Really just loved this whole thing. And I think closing that with headphones, a tribute to sound, a tribute to the love of music, the love of what music can do to you, and the sounds itself, really feels like it encapsulates the main thesis of the record, which is that one of pure love of the music, of the genres, of her influences. So a great way to close things out. And Cover Me as well was a nice, quick, sweet, just beautiful track as well to sort of segue into the very gentle down-tempo nature of headphones. And all in all, I will say that Post is probably going to be the one or at least one of the top Bjork albums that has the most kind of replayability, because I can feel like this is one that you'd come back to far more than a much more conceptual record of a Vespertine, or a bit more of a contemporary record of a debut. I feel like this one is futuristic, while at the same time having a nice wide array of sounds that you could really come back to it time and time again and have almost infinite replayability. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to more Bjork albums. Of course, we will be checking out Homogenic next. I think that is her next record. That's a big one. I know that is the one that a lot of people will even say is her best. If they had to pick between that and Vespertine, I know a lot of people say Homogenic, but then you also have the people on the other side screaming out Vespertine. So, I can't wait to see where I stand on that kind of feud, because I do love Vespertine quite a bit, and I'm excited to see where Homogenic kind of takes us. And if you are also just joining along on the channel and you liked the Bjork videos, we're also doing Pink Floyd discography, so go ahead and follow along and listen to every Pink Floyd album alongside myself, as well as, like I've been saying in every video, every new album I can cover out this year. As always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.